Today, I'm going to share with you how to make a clean, professional, and minimal website, all for free. Let's go. Welcome back. If you have not been here before, my name is Matt. I'm a therapist and a group practice owner, and I like to make videos just like this to help other therapists run and grow efficient private practices. And today I want to share with you how to design a minimal yet professional and informative website. You know, I was recently redesigning my website. I used to have one that was like a Matthew Ryan LCSW PLLC, and it was for my private practice. It was for my consultation stuff. It even was my group practice website as well. However, recently I realized that that had to change. So now I have a separate group practice website, and I have a separate website for my own personal consultation stuff, videos like this. So now there's a separation. And in doing that separation, I actually redesigned my personal website, and it is totally different than what I had before. What I had before was not bad, but as I looked at it, it was actually kind of clunky. There was way too much information. It was kind of difficult to navigate. When people came to it, it was a little bit confusing. Were they there to schedule an appointment to see me as a therapist? Were they there to learn how to run and grow a practice? I mean, it was just a little bit cumbersome. And so as I redesigned it, I wanted it to not only be informative, because I do want that information on there. It's important to have a website that has information, but I also wanted it to be clean and simple and modern. I wanted it to look really nice as well. And this is why I came up with this minimal design that I'm about to walk you through. Now, before I walk you through the design, let's just do a little bit of background on why a website is important and why having a minimal website can be really helpful. So just to start, having a website in 2022 as a therapist, for anyone trying to build a business or even a personal brand, it's going to be crucial. So your website is going to be like your online storefront, right? So if you drive by a brick and mortar store, most of the time, you're gonna get a good sense of what that store does, either by looking into the windows, seeing their signage out front. You might see the windows and the signage and say, I don't really need it, and keep driving, or you might see it, it might pique your interest, and you might stop in and take a look around. Needless to say though, when you drive by the store, you're looking at what they have on display in the windows, on the signs. And this is what helps you decide if you want to go or not. I mean, imagine if a store had no signs, no windows, and they were trying to sell items. No one would ever stop by because they don't know what's there. In the same way, we want to have a website where people can stop by, they can click into our website, they can get a sense of what we do, what we're all about, and then they can decide if they want to take action. And maybe taking action is scheduling an appointment with you, maybe it's purchasing something from your store, maybe it's emailing you. This is the essence of why we have a website in 2022. Now, I know that we want to sell products perhaps if we're a business, or we want to book appointments if we're a therapist or some sort of service provider. However, our website cannot just be screaming out book or buy or purchase or discount. That's very intrusive, and no one really wants to do that, right? If you walk into a store and someone immediately greets you and tries to sell you something, you might walk right out, right? You want to walk into the store, you want to take a look around, and you want to decide for yourself if you want to purchase something. And that's the mentality behind this particular website design that I went with. Now, one of the challenges I faced is that as a social worker, I don't have any background in design. I didn't really take any art classes. I mean, for me, design, visuals, it doesn't come naturally. And I would never say that I know that much about it. I mean, I really don't. I don't have any formal training. It's just a hard thing for me to wrap my head around and to actually do. However, I can't always be paying for a designer to come and do my website. I can't pay for a designer to come and make my logos. I mean, it's just not practical. So in some way, I have to figure out how to make my website look nice without going overboard. And that is why I chose a minimal design. As I was browsing online, just randomly looking for things and watching videos and things like that, I came across some minimally designed websites, and they actually started to pique my interest. I realized that these websites were super clean. They were like one page with a couple of buttons. And at the same time, I was able to get a sense of what that person or what that brand was all about. And so after seeing some examples, I figured I can at least imitate that to some degree. And that is what I tried to do. So this right here, this is my new website. You go to MatthewRyanLCSW.com and boom, here we are. It is one page with just a few buttons. Now let me walk you through each element of this website and give you a little bit of background about why it's there. So first, on the top left corner, you're gonna notice my logo. Now this logo, you'll notice this in all my videos, you'll notice this on some of my Instagram and social media stuff. This is a logo I designed a while back. Now it's not the most creative logo, it's not the most in-depth or detailed logo, it's simply my signed initials. And I made another video all about this, which I'll link up above and down below. But at the end of the day, I wanted the logo to be somewhere on the website, yet I didn't want it to be screaming at someone's face. I just wanted it to be there. I wanted it to be fairly noticeable, yet a little bit more on the subtle side. And so I just like to have my logo dispersed throughout all of my social media and all of my posts, because it's one way of remaining consistent. If someone sees this, they're gonna know where it came from. So top left, you've got my logo. Moving right across in the top right, you're gonna see the string of social media links. Now, obviously, if you click on this, it's going to go to that social media place, right? So if you click on the YouTube icon, it's gonna go to YouTube. There's no need to go into detail about that. But why do I have all the links right here on the top? And so it's important to have all of your social media links, at least the ones you're active on, visible for someone to navigate to. You don't necessarily want it to be front and center unless, of course, your main draw for people is something like a YouTube channel or an Instagram. Like if that is your main connection with people and that's where you're getting the most traction, then by all means, make that front and center. And so you'll notice for me, I actually have one of my call to action buttons, my YouTube channel, because this is one of my main methods of communicating with people. This is one of the main places where I want people to go. I want them to watch my content. So you'll notice that my YouTube channel is one of my buttons. We'll get to that in just a minute. The truth is that a lot of people that come to your website are probably going to come from social media and then to the site. I don't know about you, but I spend more time on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube than I do on Google, Googling things. Oftentimes I'll see something on YouTube and then I'll Google it and find the website. So it's likely that when people do find your website, they find it through social media, if you're active on there. Of course, if you're doing Google Ads or something like that, then it might be a different story. At the end of the day though, the point is this: have your active social media icons somewhere on your webpage. And now moving to the meat of the page, you'll notice that my name is the most prominent feature on this website. And you'll also notice that there is no picture. Now, I was toying with the idea of if I should have a picture or not, and you will see if we click into the About section that there is a picture so that people know who I am and what I look like. This was just personal preference. I thought it kept it really clean just to keep my name and my credentials. I may add a picture at some point, but for now, when someone comes to this website, this is the biggest text. They're gonna know exactly whose website they're on. There's not gonna be much confusion, right? So you got my name, you got my credentials. And so I don't want people to be confused, right? Sometimes people go to a website and you don't even know where you are. Which website am I on? Their name isn't there, their logo isn't there. So this is gonna clear up any confusion. It's like if you drove by my store, it would just have my store's name out front, right? It's kind of like that. So that's why I chose that. And then right beneath that, you're gonna notice a couple phrases, a couple of words, and these words describe exactly what I do. So you're gonna notice that it says therapist, consultant, content creator, and founder of Progress. Finally, we have these series of buttons that I would describe as my call to actions. Now, each of these buttons is going to link to another place that I want people to go, right? So you're gonna notice that I have YouTube on here. And like I mentioned before, this is my main way of connecting with people. I want people to go to my YouTube channel, right? So YouTube is gonna be the first one, and all they have to do is click it. There really doesn't need to be an explanation, right? Most people know what YouTube is. You click it, boom, you're at YouTube, and that's where I want them to go. So that's why I have that there. Next, you're gonna see I have my newsletter. This is another place I want people to go. This is where I provide free information and free resources to people. I want people to check that out. And not to mention, I have a free directory, a private practice directory that people can access when they click that button as well. So just like YouTube, newsletter is there because I want people to go there. You're gonna notice below the newsletter, there's a button for podcast. Same thing. I want people to go to the podcast. So that's why that button is there. And then you're gonna notice I have shop. So I do offer a couple of private practice digital products that I've built. I've built a comprehensive guide. I've also created like a mini lesson about how to conduct phone screens. And I also offer a startup checklist. And these are available for purchase in the store. Now, what you'll notice is that this is not the first button, and it's also not screaming at you when you come to the website. it's pretty subtle. The shop is like buried in the middle and it's not obvious. And this is intentional. I don't want people to feel pressured to buy products. I don't want people to log into my website and feel like I'm slapping them in the face with a sale sign. Right? This is not what I'm about. So you're gonna notice that I do want people to check out this shop. At the same time, I want them to check it out because they want to check it out. And then moving down from there, you're gonna notice I have a link to my group practice website. Right? And this, again, I want people to check out my group practice website because this is going to show my clinical side. This is going to show my business, where I'm a therapist and where I do my clinical work. So of course I want people to look at that, right? So if someone's looking at my website and they're wondering if they should schedule a time to talk with me about starting a practice or running their practice, and they have questions about a group practice, well, then they can go and check out my group practice website. And there you go. They now know that I run a group practice. They're going to be able to see what that's all about. So it was important for me to have that on there as well. Below that, you're going to see an about button. When you click this, it's going to go to a page that describes who I am, what I do, and it's also going to provide a picture. Now you're going to notice this is also brief and has a couple other links as well. The theme of this website is brevity, while also being informative. You don't want to give someone your entire biography. You don't necessarily need your entire CV on there. Of course, you can link them to those things, but people don't need to see that right off the bat, right? It's a little bit overwhelming. And then below that, you're going to see a button to contact me. Now you're going to notice it was also intentional to put this at the very bottom. And that is because the assumption is they would look at the website, they might click a couple of buttons, get to see what I do, get familiar with me. And then from there, they can decide if they want to contact me or not. Once again, it's not forceful. I don't want people to feel like they have to contact me or like, oh my gosh, this guy just wants me to call him and contact him to set up a consultation. That is definitely not what I'm going for. I want people to come in, take a look around, and then if they want to contact me, they're more than welcome to do so. So that is why the contact me button is at the bottom. You can do this in any website builder as long as you have the option to customize. Now, the biggest ones out there are probably Squarespace. That's what I use. And there's another one called Wix. I know a lot of people use this as well. They're fairly similar. I would probably put these anywhere between like beginner and intermediate level website builders. If you've never done it before, with some playing around and some time and maybe a couple YouTube tutorials, you'll be able to pick up on how to make a website with something like Squarespace or Wix. And so what I did, I took Squarespace's website builder and I simply created a blank page and then added a couple lines of text like you see, as well as a couple buttons. That's it. I mean, I barely used any of their features. And then finally, this is one that's really, really cool. And I stumbled across this not long ago. It's called Carrd, C-A-R-R-D. This seems to be a new website builder that is completely free. It was actually my inspiration for building this Squarespace website. They specialize in one-page websites and they look kind of like this. Now they have pre-built templates, so it's not going to be as customizable as the Squarespace or the Wix, yet they do look really nice. They allow you to upload a picture, they allow you to add text, and they allow you to link buttons. The best part is that it's completely free. Now they do have a paid option, and even that though is much cheaper than Squarespace. And I think sometimes we look at something like this and you're like, oh, I can't put all the information I want on there, but you really can. People need to come to your website and then you can link them out to other places that they need to be. So for example, let's say you build this one-page website, but you're thinking, well, how do I add my entire biography or my work experience? Well, then link them to LinkedIn. Link them to a PDF of your CV. There's so many ways we can do this, right? And I think Carrd, this new platform, is going to be tremendously helpful for people. It really, really can help you create something minimal, but also informative and effective. That's really what we're going for. We're going for effectiveness. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope you're now inspired to begin building your own minimal website. I think it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. And I also think it can be really effective. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you soon.